Welcome to Tea with Changelings, a web show where fantasy artists discuss all things art related over a cup of tea. And we are the Changeling Artist Collective, a group of fantasy artists from all around the world. And you can find us on our website, changelingartistcollective.com, and on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. And I'm Eeva Nikunen, and this is our first group chat, or it's really exciting. We have more than two changelings this time. We have Rachel Quinlan and Angela R. Sasser and Amanda Makepeace. So do you guys want to introduce yourself? Maybe Rachel, you are kind of like our head changeling.
And mastermind.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I founded the Changeling Artist Collective about 2 years ago. You can find me at my website, www.rachelquinlan.com. Yeah.
Yay. So great to have you finally here on our little live stream show. So it's great to have you here. And then we have Angela. You've been here before, but can you introduce yourself as well?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Angela R. Sasser, and I'm a fantasy artist, painter, and creative writer, and I do a little bit of everything. I also make masks, so I'm kind of a Renaissance woman, and yeah. You can see more of my work at www.angelasasser.com if you want to explore all the little niches that I'm into. And I'm one of the early members of the Changeling Artist Collective.
Cool. And then we have Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda Makepeace. I'm a fantasy and science fiction artist and illustrator. I do mostly book covers, but I've done a little bit of game art. You can find more of my work at amandamakepeace.com.
Cool. And you're also kind of really, you're working for the Changeling Artist Collective, like really active, kind of managing stuff as well.
Yes, I was one of the first few members, I think, that Rachel pulled in.
Yes.
Yes. And I tend to launch our auctions a lot. I'm really busy with the auctions, helping Rachel with that, and doing other little things.
Yeah, she's really basically vice president in charge of everything that I do as well. So
yeah. Well, we forgot to introduce our teacups actually.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone has an interesting, because it's like it's supposed to be like a casual chat over tea. So if anyone wants to introduce their teacup, please go ahead.
You gotta talk about the most important part of the teacup too, which is what's inside. So what you guys got going on today?
Here's my teacup. My teacup is full of coffee.
Drink of the gods.
And this is mine. There's nothing really special about it, but it is the only cup that I use for tea when I'm in the studio. I just drink a British black tea. That's what I've been drinking since I lived abroad, and that's what I've been drinking since I came home.
Cool. And Angela, you had kind of also a special mug.
I have the super mega bat mug. And this is the mug that's like twice as big as all of my other mugs. I pull it out when deadlines are near because it holds like half the amount of coffee or tea. I got matcha going on today. I had to give up coffee, which sucks.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I know. It's the artist juice. It makes the art happen. But matcha is a good replacement because it's caffeinated and not as acidic as coffee. So. Bat mug.
That's a cool one. I have this is actually from England. It's if you know a store called Cath Kidston. It's like a really kitschy store in England, and they have also like all these kind of really 50s, really pretty stuff like clothes and all kind of like accessories and home decor and everything. And I was living in London, and actually one of my friends bought this for me, and it has stars on it, which I love.
Yeah, I love stars too.
Yeah, I usually like in all of my paintings, I have to put at least a few stars there for some reason.
What's the good stuff in it again?
What I'm drinking right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Earl Grey.
Okay, got it.
I love coffee, but I can't. It's 9 p.m. where I am, so I can't drink coffee at this time.
Too late for coffee.
Yeah. So we're here to talk about a project that's been going on for quite a while now among the Changing Artists Collective, and it's a card game project called Odd Fae. And maybe Rachel, could you tell us a little bit about like how, because you're kind of like the mastermind behind this whole project, like where you got the initial idea and how it kind of all started and how we started like talking about this project.
So Odd Fae is a variant of Old Maid. We, instead of the Old Maid, we have the Odd Fae, and the pairs of cards within the deck consist of Seelie and Unseelie fairies. So traditionally, this is in some folklore that there are two courts of fairies, and they both have different kind of personalities or properties, and so our artists have kind of interpreted their versions of these fairies, and the pairs are held together with a symbol. So every artist picked a symbol, such as an acorn or a butterfly or a moth, and has interpreted their fairy based on these symbols. So I think I can't remember how I came up with the idea. I kind of am constantly trying to think of game ideas that the group can kind of work on as a, you know, as a big collaborative project. So it was, I think this one, we thought of this almost 2 years ago, and it's but it's coming to completion, and the art that has been turned in thus far is really, really cool. So I'm really excited about it. My own contribution to the art, I'm doing the Changeling card, and then I'm doing a pair of kind of aquatic fish fairies. And I'm also doing the packaging and all of the Kickstarter graphics and the templates. And so I'm going to be working on this for the next 2 months. So I've cleared my schedule, and this is it. So
yeah, it's a lot of work. Just make sure to, like, anything like what we can do, like we can what's the word? Delegate? Is it delegate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help and delegate. Yes,
yeah.
I can definitely use that.
So you don't have to do everything alone, because it's like a massive project.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe everyone could say what their symbol is, like their card, and kind of maybe tell like why you picked that symbol in particular.
Oh, well, I picked the Changeling card because it was an oddball. So I just picked it because every other person was doing a pair and somebody needed to do it. So, and then the fish pair, I think I changed at one point. I was going to do, I think I was going to do, I can't remember what else I was going to do, but I changed because we had openings, and I just felt like doing some underwater scenes. So, I can show, I'm actually on my 3rd attempt with the Changeling, so I can show my progress up until my upcoming 3rd attempt. So here's the sketch that I had for my first attempt. You know, I based it on
eating the butterflies.
yeah, I based it on my eldest daughter when she was a baby. So so I thought the first attempt I'd try to do some like really dark forest, like with dappled lighting, and it just didn't kind of turn out how I had hoped. So that was the first attempt. Second attempt was this one, just a more natural lighting. But I'm gonna, if I time permitting, time permitting, I'm gonna make a third attempt and have it be more front, you know, facing and like maybe a younger baby, like swaddled up, and like I want to have just tons of like organic stuff like surrounding it. So
I'm curious, for those who don't know what changelings are, could you go into the concept of what a changeling is? Because some people might not know.
So yes, that's a good point. A changeling is thought to be like fairies come and take your baby and replace it with a fairy baby. So it's got some really dark history behind the folklore. People are now kind of conjecturing that like they developed this folklore to explain children that might have had something off with them, or like birth defects, or, you know, possibly even autism, or, you know, but it's kind of sad in a way if you read up on changelings a lot, but it's also, you know, kind of interesting. So
well, Amanda, could you, because you're actually, you have a finished piece for the card game already, and actually your art will be the thumbnail for this episode. So could you tell a little bit about your card?
I chose the Odd Fae, the owl symbol, and instead of like it having some element of an owl in the works, I actually made my fays like owls. At least their faces are owls. They're actually very furry little beings with thin arms and legs. They might look a little creepy if you were to like stumble upon them. But their faces are owls, and so it kind of tricks you as well. And Fae are known for doing that, for tricking people. I'm working digitally, so I can't actually show that finished piece, but it is on my website right now. I don't know, Eva, if you want to maybe put a link in to the chat for it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that way people
could you maybe screen share it, or?
It's not, the screen share is not really working very well. So, but I do have the original like sketches that I made. I started off with these very tiny, small 5x7 sketches, just kind of getting an idea of what I wanted the Fae to look like, and the background and different elements. And then I actually went to an actual owl for some more visual inspiration. So the owl for my my unseelie Fae is based off a sooty owl, and they're in the same family as barn owls. So when we have our auction next month, I'm going to have prints of the final card art, but I'm also going to be offering along with those these original drawings and sketches. It'll come, it'll be like a package that'll all come together. But in them, my unseelie is like a herald of the moon, and my seelie is a herald of the sun. So they are like the guardians of those different elements in nature.
Cool.
And anybody that knows me knows that I love owls. So it's not surprising that I chose those symbols.
Oh, that's cool. Amanda, I can't paste a link into the chat, but if people want to go see your website, Amanda's website is in the video description, so people can see it there.
Yes, it's right on the front page. All you have to do is scroll down, you'll find it. It's also on my social media. I've been posting it a few places, so.
Yeah. And Angela, could you tell us about your cards?
Sure. I chose the Rose set, which I chose that set because roses already show up in a lot of my own paintings as symbols of magic or divinity. And I had such a great idea right from the start that as soon as I saw rose, I was like, mine, gimme. Because they're just fun to paint on a very basic level too, and they have all this lovely symbolism attached to them, just as flowers of love and passion and just all of that. And is it okay to screen share and show process stuff, or we're going to save that for like the next topic? Or
you can screen share now if you want to.
Let's see if I'm going to screen share and hope it doesn't freeze up. So
let's hope so.
All right. Hopefully you guys should be able to see it. Actually, I have Amanda's page up right now. Is it showing up?
Yep. It is, yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, well, let me just, I'm going to, you're now logged into that, so we can only see your screen right now.
Okay, I was just going to scroll down and see if I could find Amanda's real fast.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
There we go.
That's really cool.
So that is Amanda's real fast while we have the screen up with the moon. So that's pretty awesome. And I actually am still working on mine, so mine's kind of a work in progress. So I figured I could show you guys some of the progress stuff that came with. Mine's going to be in watercolor when it's all finished. And I always start off with really strong thumbnail sketches to get some ideas out for how I wanted them to be. And I wanted the Sealy one to be all blossoming and lively and bright colors. And then you have the dark unsealy one with less blossoms and more thorns and buds and sharp edges. She's not very huggable. And the reason why mine is taking so long is I kind of am a very meticulous, intense planner person. So I did photo references and use a webcam to take photos of different poses and trying to get that elegance in the hands that I always like to have with these kind of pieces, and using bits of roses and whatnot for the dresses. And so that's like the photo bash references. And then I've worked it up in the computer to get the values where I want them to be, because I want them to be very striking when you're looking at them on the card. They have to have strong shapes. And that's also because when you work in watercolor is not very forgiving. So I like to plan everything out ahead of time. So when I'm going to watercolor, I can know where I'm going and what the end product's going to be. And I've actually got the, oh, hold on. There we are. I've got the original over here, the world premiere of the progress of the piece, which is here. So,
ooh.
Hopefully that's focusing.
Yeah, it's showing really great.
So you can see where it's all underpainting up here still, and then the texture on the leaves on the bottom. So that's where she's at right now.
That's really cool.
And that is why I am a little behind, but hopefully worth it, you know.
You're not the only one who's behind.
I just can't help myself with all the detail, you know. I've got to put all of that. You can't. That's me trying to be simple. I'm like, I'll keep it simple, and then I drew like a billion roses and leaves. So,
yeah, cool. I'm kind of interested in because I also take such a long time to complete my paintings,
yours
and
is oil, right?
yeah, I use oil paint, and I like the last piece I finished, I worked on it for 5 months, which is like way too long. And I'm trying to. I'm getting a little bit of an echo, I think, again.
Yeah.
Oh, we also lost Amanda.
We lost Amanda.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I hope she will join us very soon. Yeah, but I'm kind of interested in like how do you decide like when a piece is finished? Because maybe for everyone it kind of like you never know. It's just like how it happens for me is like I'm working on a piece and it's still like I feel like I have so much work to do on it, but then just like one day when I'm painting it, like suddenly I figure out like oh my god, it's finished, and it just like happens. And I was wondering, is it like that for you, or how does it work usually?
For posing to all of us, or to me?
Well, everyone. Maybe Rachel can answer first.
Hopefully, Amanda can.
Yeah, usually there's like a deadline pressing, and you know, even still, like I work on it until I basically can't stand to work on it anymore, and then it's done. So yeah, usually for me it's like I can't look at this anymore. But even then, sometimes I set it aside and I'll come back to it weeks later, but that's very, very rare. So
Yeah. What about you, Angela?
Oh goodness. I have a habit of just overworking everything. So, but I guess for me, I just kind of rely on instincts to tell me when it's done.
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi went out.
Oh, welcome back. We're talking about like when we know when a piece is finished. Angela is just talking about that. So please go on, Angela.
I think for me, it is definitely an instinctual thing, but there are certain goals I set at the beginning, like I know I want this certain value grouping and I want this certain amount of contrast. And when I hit those points in a piece, that's when I call it done. But also I do just go insane and sick of looking at it. And that's when I sometimes just have to be like,
I could say too that like with watercolor, you run the risk if you keep working into it of like making everything go muddy. So like there's a bit of like caution there. Like you don't want to overwork it. So when I used to work in like acrylics or oils, like, that felt like it could have like dragged out like a lot longer, but watercolors kind of force you to like call it done at a certain point at risk of losing the painting. So.
Oh, sound went out for me on Rachel.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine, Rachel.
Okay.
What about you, Amanda? We were talking about how when do you know like when a piece is finished? Like how is that experience for you usually?
For me, it's a little bit more vague, honestly. I think I get to a certain point in a painting, and I've tackled all the different elements and the things that I'm trying to express, and there just comes a point where I realize I'm done, and there's kind of like this release, and I just feel like it's done. I just know that it's done. And then sometimes later I think, oh, maybe I would have changed this or that. And sometimes I do, but most of the time I just let pieces go and move on to the next project. But it also varies. Rachel was talking about watercolor, and because I work in traditional media and digital, and there are, I think, different things that you take into account, especially with watercolor. And graphite, because I work in graphite a lot. And, if you overwork graphite, then you just end up with a shiny mess all over your paper. So there are different factors that you have to kind of think about depending on the media that you're working in. Did we lose Angela? There she is.
Oh, she's back.
There we go. Okay. Sorry, the sound went out and then it froze on me. I think the IT gremlins are after us.
It's the heat in Georgia. It's just messing with the lines.
Always blame the heat.
Yeah.
You gotta drink hot tea because it's comforting, okay?
Also, I'm kind of interested in because everyone has a theme for their card in the Odd Fae game. How did you when you start planning for a new piece? What's your process like? Do you just do little thumbnail sketches, or do you listen to kind of certain style of music, or how do you get inspired for a new piece when you're starting?
I guess I can start.
Yeah.
I do some thumbnails. I do a lot of I look at Pinterest quite a bit to get inspiration. I look at a lot of if I'm, for instance, for the fish pair, I'm sure I will be looking at a lot of, coral reefs, and I want the Sealy Fae to be very pretty, and so I'm going to be looking at a lot of reefs and more colorful, delicate plant life and fish. And then the Unseelie, I intend to have that be more swampy. So, I'll do a lot of research into, underwater habitats for swamps, and maybe mangrove swamps in particular, hopefully. But that's kind of my process. I make secret inspiration boards, and then I kind of start exploring sketches and thumbnails.
What about you, Amanda?
Mine is a little similar. I don't do a whole lot of thumbnail sketches. That's never been a part of my process. I mean, in a sense, I do them, but they're all in my head. There's a lot of thinking that goes on in daydreaming, and then I go in search of my reference material, and that, I mean, I have folders and folders full on my computer of different owls and textures and images of the moon rising and the sun setting, and all of that just sort of kind of becomes this melting pot in my head, and I'll just daydream. And then as things start to form, I'll sometimes do little sketches to say, okay, well, I have this idea in my head, but is it going to actually work? And then I'll sketch something out. And if I think it's going to work, then I'll go and I'll really dive into it. So I don't have a lot of sketchbook full of work like a lot of artists do. It's all in my head. And I remember everything. I have a very visual memory. It's almost photographic. And so I'm just absorbing things constantly and rearranging them. I can usually, before I start painting, I can see an entire painting in my head. All the details, all the color, everything. It's just a matter of translating it, onto the canvas.
I'm kind of like that too. I see it, I see the end, but it can change on the way, but still I kind of know where I'm going, but usually I have no idea how I'm going to get there, but I almost do. Yeah.
Yeah, I always leave an opening for things to, adapt or evolve in a painting as I'm going. But yeah, I'm the same way. I see the entire thing. It's almost like a dream in my head. It's pretty cool. It's a fun way to create. I know it's
Yeah.
a little different than a lot of people, though.
I am always so jealous of people with those elaborate sketchbooks. My sketchbooks are so not impressive, but I mean, they're very, very scribbly, and I don't want people looking through them. Like,
Yeah.
they're not.
I think it's also people only share like their best sketches. I'm sure like those who have amazing sketchbooks, they also have like really bad doodles like in their sketchbooks as well. It's just like, what do you want to share with other people? So
I hope so.
yeah.
My sketchbooks, most of my sketchbooks are actually just little phrases and poems that I write that kind of usually go with my art. And so they're just little ideas that jog my memory if I need it. So
Yeah, that's it. Do you, Angela, do you also, you kind of also already shared like the thumbnails and everything you've done for the card, and do you do any writing, or do you get inspired by like music, or how's your process? Like how does it begin?
Now, I definitely am a music lover. I will sometimes, if I have time, I'll sit there and compose a playlist that's going to go with a project, especially if there's a specific mood I'm going for. I realize how meticulously weird I am now, but yeah, I'm meticulous about playlists with the right mood. I also do a lot of like folklore notes, like, especially coming off the Birthstone Birth Flower series I just finished. I wrote notes about the folklore behind the flowers, what they mean, that kind of thing. And I did a little of that with the roses. And so yeah, for me, a lot is research. I love to research. So I'll definitely see what other folklore might prompt an image that would work with the painting. So writing is in there for me too, like writing and doodling notes, because my sketchbook will be a lot of little phrases of interesting folklore plus thumbnails, that kind of thing. It's a mix.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I can actually show my painting. It's like 99% finished. I still want to do a little bit of painting. It's I don't know how it's showing. I still have to do some layers, and the final varnishing will kind of like even everything out, but I still want to do some details. But I work in oil, and this is actually my first time painting on wood, so it was kind of like a new experience. And yeah, I previously only painted on linen, so it was kind of like, it was a bit smoother than linen, so it was
yeah, that's a big difference.
yeah.
I love painting on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually do quite a lot of sketching in my sketchbook, and some are like more, I call them sketches, but sometimes I might end up drawing like one sketch for maybe a few hours. So I don't know if that's still, maybe it's just like maybe a study or something more. My sketches are also like little small thumbnails if I get an idea. Usually when I start a new painting, what I try to do is I try to go for a walk. I live in a quite nice area, so I can get into the, like, walking in the forest, or like, that's my favorite place to go if I really have to like concentrate on getting new ideas. And almost every time it works when you go outside. I've seen Amanda posting also, like,
yeah, that's a big walks. Yeah, that's a big part of my everyday creative life. Is walking. Yeah, it's very it clears my head, and it allows me to kind of be with everything that I love. And I find that the ideas flow a lot easier when I'm outside.
Yeah, I'm really like that too. And I usually, when I go for walks, I listen to music, especially if I have to come up with new painting ideas for a project or something. And usually I might get like more than one, and I get really excited. Usually just maybe one of those ideas I actually paint, but I get so many ideas usually. And often they're related to a song or a piece of music. And then when I start the sketching, I usually try to listen to that that piece of music like over and over again, just kind of like keeping the same feeling that I had when I first came up with the idea.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then
I'm not the only one.
yeah, but then when I'm in the painting process, like because it takes such a long time, then I kind of like I listen to podcasts or just I don't know, audiobooks sometimes, or just maybe have like Netflix playing in the background, because you know, like you can't be I think it's better to get into the zone when you're actually like doing the actually like the work part of the painting. Like you just have to sit there and do it. So I think it helps when you have something in the background.
I must admit, I tend to turn to Disney movies because I've seen them a billion times. So the music and the animation is really comforting, and I don't have to look at it to know what's going on. So when the audiobooks and podcasts have run their course, Disney movies for me.
I binge watch. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
I was going to say I only listen to music when I paint. I cannot listen to podcasts or movies. It's just too much of a distraction when I'm painting. Now, if I'm sketching, I might watch something on Netflix. But yeah, music. I do like having something on in the background.
I typically watch BBC like historic dramas, and some of them are terrible. Like, but and like I love the terrible ones, like, because like I don't have to be really, like, I don't feel like I'm missing much, but like there's something on that's like kind of entertaining for me. But like I can't watch like shows that I'm like really really into.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to watch, like, I've tried to watch Critical Role, and like I have a problem with podcasts as well, where I kind of like zone out, and then I'm like bummed out that I like zoned out. Like I can't.
Yeah, that's why you can't do audiobooks. Like maybe documentaries or podcasts, because books start getting dense. Like audiobooks get really dense with the information that's coming across. So it's really hard to like absorb that at the same time, especially if you're inking or something really detailed and tense.
Yeah.
Can I plug a podcast that I really love? It's an art podcast. It's by artists David Stupakis and David Hocknall.
I know that.
Yeah, Gimme Babel. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, I listen to that a lot. I think they started in the beginning of this year, and it's really good. It's Gimme Babel, like the Tower of Babel.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of this one. I'll have to try it.
Yeah, it's really good. I like listening to that. So that's my and also want to say we have people in the chat, and Marion Skydancer said that you learn so much about yourself in these little chats.
Hey,
and we have Calvin here. Hi, Calvin. And Rashad. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. And yeah, I said Marion already. And
yay, people!
And Angela and I will see Marion this summer. We'll see him at Dragon Con next month.
Oh, sorry?
Angela and I will see Marion next month.
Cool.
So,
Dragon Con's like that big family reunion outside of IllixCon.
I wish I could go to Dragon Con this year.
It would be so fun to have you.
I'm gonna try next year. I'm gonna try to apply for the art show, and let's see how it goes and stuff.
Cool.
I'm mailing work in to Dragon Con, but I'm not attending, so.
Have you been to Dragon Con, Rachel?
No, not yet. But this is the first year that I'll be mailing work in. And then, you know, I'm hoping maybe next year I can go to Dragon Con. I'm kind of like picking between either Dragon Con or Gen Con, you know, assuming that I would get into either of them. So that's my plan. But I'll be at IllixCon this year. So
yeah, I will too.
Wow. Oh my God, I want to go there as well. I want to go everywhere too. And also, like when we had the card game, that will be also like a really good addition to, like, if you want to sell it on, like, if you're going to conventions. I think that would be a fun addition.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan. I'm hoping that the artists can pick up extra packs if they want to sell them. So we'll see. We'll see how well it does. Hopefully it gets funded.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have problems, but you just never want to be too sure. So
yeah, it's always like a bit of a gamble, but we just have to do it and see how it goes.
Hey, Rachel, I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have any details settled yet about things that we can hint will be in the Kickstarter along with the game, like any fun extras? Or
I'm keeping it very simple just because, you know, I'm going to be fulfilling it. And I feel, you know, I'm worried that I'm just as worried about it becoming super, super popular as I am about it not funding at all. So, basically the card game, and then an enamel pin, and but the stretch goals for the card game, you know, I intend to like improve the quality of the deck with stretch goals. So I'm really hoping we can get like really nice, you know, gold gilded edges and gold stamping on the box, maybe embossing. So we'll see how it goes.
Gold foil always looks nice, so
yes,
for that.
Yes,
I feel like I'm one person fulfilling mine too, and I'm kind of scared of that step. Like that's next step for me with the coloring book, and I'm like,
Well, I had that pin Kickstarter. I had a D&D pin, enamel pin Kickstarter that really exceeded my expectations, and so I feel like I got like a slight taste of what it would be like to have a Kickstarter kind of blow up. And you know, if it does very well, then I am flying Amanda in to help me pack boxes, and
I will come help you. I will come help you. We'll have a good time too.
I even have 4 vacation days left for the entire year, so I might be able to like take a vacation day just to do Kickstarter fulfillment if we need to.
Calvin in the chat is saying that he will be at Dragon Con too.
Oh yeah, come say hello. I think Amanda and I will both have tables in the artist alley, won't we?
Yes, we will. Yes, so come find us. Yeah.
Yes. Now you know what we look like.
And we also the pin that is going to be hopefully through the Kickstarter. It looks really cool. Like Calvin is suggesting in the chat, get a Changeling pin, sort of like One Fantastic Week. So maybe that could be like our pin.
Oh, well, we already have those, but those are not the pins that we're going to have with the Kickstarter.
The Kickstarter pin is really cool. I saw the design.
It's going to be a fairy circle. So
I want one of those.
Yes, me too. But it should be large, and I designed it trying to make it more like a piece of like higher scale, like more upscale jewelry, like aesthetic in mind than just a typical, you know, enamel pin. Not that there's anything wrong with, I love enamel pins, but I was trying to go for something a little bit different with this. So we'll see if I hit the mark with the design, but
I think people are going to love it. I really do. It's pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
The upscale shrooms were awesome.
And you already have, Rachel, you have a lot of experience with designing pins because you have that awesome RPG enamel pin Kickstarter.
I think I've done in all 15 enamel pins at this point. So they're fun, you know. But yeah, I did 12 Dungeons and Dragons inspired pins. all with like D20s and all the other dice too. So
Those look like so much fun.
Here's her owlbear.
Oh,
isn't he cute?
That's so cute.
Ooh, are we showing off enamel pins? Can I show off one?
Of course.
you have to run into the other room and go scoop them all up.
You go.
Oh, actually, I've got some of my pins right over here.
Yeah, I still have, as they all run away to find their pins, I still have the proof pin from my Twilight Moth Kickstarter that I ran in January. It's the only pin left from that series, and I am planning to design a new one. I need to get started on that this fall. But I have this one left, and it is in my shop on my website.
So pretty. I love the moths. They always make for great pins. And plug
here's a fun guy.
That's really cool.
Mushrooms.
I love that Cthulhu one. I don't know how you pronounce it.
yeah. Let's see.
Here's the pin that
here it is.
My first pin design. If my camera will focus on it.
That one's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Focus. She has a face, I swear. Oh, there we go. But she's for my Patreon patrons, and she symbolizes my Birthstone series that I just finished, the Ladies of the Month. So she's like in my secret shop on Patreon. So anyone who becomes a patron can pick up one of those pins and say, I supported Angela Sasser when she made her Birthstone series and went insane.
Here's the Cthulhu.
I'm gonna I love that one.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a lot, so I won't do all of them.
It was amazing how many you did. They're all so cute. I'm a tabletop gamer as well, so it's kind of fun to discover that so many other people I know play.
Do you know why enamel pins are so popular at the moment? Like, do you have an idea like how that started?
I had just noticed that they were popular over the last few years. I think that my theory about it is that like people like to have art that has like a utilitarian like purpose, and the price point is right. Like they're not very expensive, so somebody can buy something like neat and nice that they can use for not much money. And it's I don't know, I hear at conventions all the time like, oh, I have so much art on my walls already, like, so it must fill like a need for like artfully designed things that they can do something else with. And I think that also gamers like always have like a backpack, like they're going to go play and they have stuff, so they stick it on their bag of holding. Like a lot of them have bags of holding. So
and enamel pins have been around a while. I have some enamel pins from when the Olympics were in Atlanta. One of them is an artist palette. It's really cool. So they've always been, I mean, they've always been around, and I think, you know, they're small and collectible, and like you said, people can put them on their bags, and they're fun.
I used to collect them when I was a kid, and I still kind of collect them, and they're just, plus you show your flair, you know, like if you have all your pins on, people know exactly what you love, and I think part of that, identifying what you love, is a big part of why they're so popular. Your flair.
Marion is saying in the chat that I think she's referring to the Dragon Con art show that is huge this year, and Brom is one of the guests.
Yeah, Brom is the artist guest of honor this year, as well as there's guests Alan Williams and
Ed Binkley.
Ed Binkley.
Binkley or Brinkley?
Well, that's embarrassing. I can't remember.
Sorry, Ed.
I'm probably gonna have to control myself from fangirling over Brom, so I gotta play it cool.
It's Binkley.
Binkley.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great
But
experience.
a lot of the popular artists are there every year. You know, that work in gaming and book illustration. So yeah, it's gonna be big.
Yeah, and the art show panels are also really like the best thing ever. I've been to DragonCon twice. I've never like applied for the art show, but I've just been there as just as a convention goer, and that's actually where I learned about or met a lot of the artists that I follow now, and I actually found out about One Fantastic Week at DragonCon. I was at one of their panels. Sam Flegel was there, and he was plugging their workshop that they have, the workshop in Nashville. So that's how I found out about it.
Funny. What year was that, Eva?
That was 2015, I think, or 16, maybe 15. Yeah, 15, 2015.
Yeah.
So a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I was probably there at the con.
Oh, that's so strange.
But we didn't
I'm sorry, I didn't know you back then.
We didn't know each other back then, so
yeah.
I was definitely there too. So it's funny who you meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's such a giant shoulder-to-shoulder con. It's easy to miss people because it's just so many people in one place.
Yeah, there's so much going on there.
So if ladies do come, we have to have a meetup and like escape away from the crowd for a little bit. So that would be good.
Yeah, like plan ahead a time where you're gonna see each other and where, because it's such a huge place.
Yeah,
maybe
everybody books
we'll have a
Changeling
panel.
Sorry, Amanda?
Amanda? I'm sorry.
We could have a Changeling panel.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. Dang. I didn't even think of that when they put out the programming call. Maybe next year.
Are you doing some panels this year, Angela?
Oh no, I am not this year because it's been too crazy. I'm just want to go and kind of take an easier year this year, but I have done social media basics marketing panels in the past. And yeah, so I've done a few there, but this year I'm just taking it easy. How about you?
I understand. Yeah, I have a panel that I ran at JordanCon actually in April that I'm going to run at DragonCon on brainstorming and ideas.
Ooh, that's always a fun topic.
Oh, it's really fun, and the attendees at JordanCon loved it, and so I think it's going to be a lot of fun at DragonCon too. And then I'm on a group panel, I think with Todd Lockwood, Mark Helwig, and Joe Bellafato, and it's going to be on talking about traditional art and digital art and trends. Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
I'll have to see if I can come crash your panels. At the table. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But those are the only two panels that I'm doing. The rest of the time I'll be at my table. And my daughter will be there with me. She comes and helps me. She's my assistant. So
it's only like a month away, so
I know.
It's approaching fast.
I'm not ready.
I'm semi-ready. I still have a lot of prints to make and to bag and board, and but I think I have most everything. I'm still kind of working out the kinks on my display that I'm going to have behind my table. That is actually the thing that I'm kind of focusing on the most, because that's what makes that big impact. For attendees. So I want to make sure I get that right. But yeah, it's a month away. We'll be ready.
I'm about at the same place you are, because I've bought all my product. I've got prints and dice bags and everything's sitting out there on the table waiting for me to package it. So yeah, I'm probably going to bribe some friends and probably my mother to come and help package everything. And that's where I'm at. I need to package it and figure out how the heck I'm going to put it on the table, because I always change my display up. I never have the same display once because I'm always trying to find a more efficient way to display it. Because, like you said, it really makes a difference to have that pro presentation. So
yes, it is. It's important to really put a lot of time into that so that it's the best representation of you.
mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I've got like some tiered racks coming, and I'm excited about tiered racks because it's gonna look really nice.
I want to get some tiered racks. That's on my wish list.
Yeah, artist wish lists. I bet they're yeah, people would be amazed at what's on mine.
You know, it's like I get so excited about dumb stuff like that too.
Well, I've been looking at business card holders for pegboards. That's what I've been researching lately. I've been trying to find something nice for the gallery at Dragon Con so that it can hold my business cards.
I've gotten some good ones from Staples, but you just have to make sure the hooks that hold them on stay on there really well. Because I had one break off and fall last year, and it's still everywhere. But I'm learning process there. But
yep, trial and error. You just kind of keep going, and you find what works.
Yep, lots and lots of tape.
Well, we're coming to the kind of the end of our time here, sadly. But maybe we could end by maybe Rachel, if you could kind of say something about like when the Kickstarter is coming and like what's next for Odd Fae.
Okay, so in August we're actually having a Changeling auction for the originals. For the game, and then the Kickstarter is going to take place in September. And I don't want to give an exact date in this video yet, just in case it needs to, just in case. But you know, we will.
That's a good plan.
We will keep an eye on the Changeling page, and we will get the date out as soon as we can. So probably end of September.
But that auction, the auction next month is going to be really, really amazing. So
yes.
Yeah, I wish we had time to share some of the pieces that were already turned in, but alas.
Yeah, well, I'm sure those will turn up in the Changeling Artist Collective Facebook page. So like we post all the Changeling art there. So that's, I think, the best way to follow all the new pieces that are being made. So, and well, this was really a lot of fun, and thanks so much also to the chat, to Marion and Calvin and everyone else who commented. So it was a lot of fun, and this is also a great way for us Changelings to kind of like get to know each other a little better because we live in different places. So
yeah, cheers! Thanks for hosting us.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
And there's one last question from the chat from Phantasmal is asking, do you do preview lists, I guess for artworks that are going for sale? I think our mailing list, or sorry, Rachel.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say we have the newsletter. We can put the link up maybe in the description for the newsletter for the video. But we're trying to preview the auction ahead of time. A few select pieces, not the entire list of pieces, because often those pieces aren't even available to us until right before the auction. So,
but that's on changelingartistcollective.com, right?
The mailing list, it should be, yes.
I'll leave a link to the mailing list at the bottom of the page on our website, yes.
Yeah, and the auctions go live always at the same time on Mondays. What time is it? EST.
Mondays at noon Eastern Standard, and the next next auction is going to be August 20th through the 24th. So
yeah, so that's the Odd Fae auction.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much to everyone, and I hope we can do a group chat like this again soon. So it was so nice chatting with everyone, and thanks for everyone joining in the chat. Okay, see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.